I'm in the mood for a Canes-Rangers game tonight. It's on the road for the Canes. It's a big game. This is the type of game, emphasis type of, this is the type of game that is the reason why you traded for Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall. A big game, divisional opponent, high emotions, a team with history, someone else's arena. This is the game where it would feel really, really, really good if the new guys showed up and did something special. But this isn't the game you did it for, right? It's too soon. The paint isn't dry. There's still so much that needs to be worked out to go in with any kind of lofty expectations. We haven't done this in a while, Dennis. Scale of 1 to 10. How big of a game is this?
9.
9? If we're going into decimals, like 9.2. Like it's 9 leaning up, if you ask me.
Especially with how hot the Rangers have been. I know they lost recently, but they had a streak of 10 straight games where they had points. Good team, and they're obviously ascending in Carolina with all the moves that they made. Yeah, there's a lot on this game. And
as I always say, right, and the reason why we do the 1 out of 10, how big is this game thing is, I'm always judging the Canes based on how they're going to play in the postseason, right? Their seasons are successful or not successful based on how far they go in the postseason. So the only way I can think of to mimic or get a spot check on how well this team is prepared for the postseason is to put more value on the big games, the ones that are intense, the ones that have some kind of rivalry, some kind of stakes on it, and that's going to happen in the bigger games. So big-time players make big-time games, big-time plays in big-time games. I stumbled through the cliche. And on top of that, with it being a road game, another thing I believe is role players don't travel as well as stars. So if, in that case, you're looking at this one saying you need your big-time players to make big-time plays, and you need them to be the beacons for your role players to follow. This is a game where traditionally, if you have a Mikko Rantanen or a Taylor Hall on your roster, you look to them and say, put us on your shoulders, along with Aho, Jarvis, the other Slavin, the other stars that you have. That's not an all-inclusive list, just naming some guys. And on the other side, it's the ones you know. It's the same guys. It's Panarin, it's Kreider, it's Trocheck, it's Igor in net. Like you know what they are. There's no surprises there either. So going into this game, I am looking for the stars. I am looking for the big players to make big-time plays. I'm also looking for a little improvement in chemistry. I'm also looking for, right, if it looks like Aho and Rantanen just seem to know where each other will be a little bit better, right? I'm looking for the power play 1 to just move a little bit smoother. I'm just looking for the new guys to fit in more. I'm looking for Taylor Hall to get more comfortable on whatever line he ends up playing on. Do you know what else I'm looking for, though? And this is where I'm going to contradict kind of everything that I just said. I do want to see 1 or 2, forget chemistry, watch what I can do, plays. Right? Like, this is the productivity stuff that happens in our office. Right? We have this new player for the Canes in Mikko Rantanen. He's one of the top players in the NHL. He's a 100-goal scorer. So we're trying to be creative and come up with things that we can do on the show. And Dennis just casually goes like, well, his nickname is Moose. Is there anything we can do with that? And, you know, we're bringing up Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yep. I literally pulled up YouTube and we listened to Moose calls to see if there was anything, because we're an audio medium here, even though we're also on YouTube. What's going on YouTube? We're having some fun with it, and we'll keep spitballing. Some ideas maybe will happen, maybe won't.
Some might land.
But if your nickname's going to be Moose, occasionally you just got to brute force that bad boy. Occasionally you just have to be a 7-foot tall, antlers up to 8-foot tall behemoth and go power your way to something. Oh, sorry, you didn't know I was going to be here? You didn't know I liked getting it? Throw it to me now. Watch what happens. Like, I do want a few look what I can do moments. And I would say there were 1 or 2 in this first game. 1 or 2, like, watch this rocket. So I want to see that from Rantanen. Taylor Hall, less so, right? Fit in, be the skilled guy that you are. But also, I want the players that have already been around. I want the Canes players that have been established to make sure they're trying to get theirs too, right? It's not all about let's make the new guys comfortable. It's not all about, well, where do they like to get the puck? Some of it is, you figure it out, I'm going to score. Or I'm going to do what I do, and you figure out where to be. Mikko is used to playing with Makar and McKinnon. He is completely okay sharing the spotlight, right? He doesn't need to have the puck all the time. I went and looked at it. Mikko's first year in Colorado, he played like 9 games his pre-rookie year. Mm-hmm. His rookie year, they were dead last in goals scored per game. Ever since then, after his first year, they've never been outside the top 10, peaking as high as number 1 a couple seasons ago. That isn't one guy scoring. That is a well-oiled machine. He can understand and get in where he fits in when someone else is having a day. So Jarvis, Svech, Aho, Gostisbehere from the blue line. If Kokiniemi wants to continue his little streak of hot play, Roslovic if you're not sick after not being at if you're a shooter, score, be aggressive. They can play off of you as well. The sad part is, college sports are becoming more and more like pro sports in that free agency is moving around and teams are different and veterans have to get used to playing with other veterans. And at the college level, I'm seeing way too much like people worried about not stepping on toes. Right? Way too much like, oh, I'm the new guy, or, oh, our new guy, I want to make sure they feel welcome, so I'm going to just worry about setting them up. And I'm watching going, no, both of you play your best game. And hopefully they link up. I'm not saying be a jerk. I'm not saying freeze them out. I'm saying take care of you as well. Mikko Rantanen's here. Taylor Hall's here. They are in New York. They'll be playing for the Canes against the Rangers. If everybody bends over backwards to make sure they have a good game, you likely won't win because you need 3/4 of your players to have a good game to beat a team like the Rangers. Score, be aggressive, look for it. Rod Brind'Amour today, talking with the media, talked about trying not to overcoach Mikko and Hall and taking advantage of the moments he has to teach.
It's a little balance. I mean, we they got a lot to learn as far as what we're doing. I mean, we know they're great hockey players and came from good organizations and all that, but systems are a little different and that takes time. So it's a gradual thing. We don't want to kind of overdo it, but at the same time you want to get them up to speed as quickly as possible. So every chance you get to have some sort of interaction, whether it be quick video session or just even a chat, you're trying to take advantage of that.
It's going to be a learning experience for everybody. They've had one practice?
Yeah, they practiced yesterday, had a morning skate today.
Okay. One and a half.
A couple times. And a game. Which is live practice.
And they played a game, and they had to travel, and they have to figure out everything about their, when they're not on the ice, they're dealing with where am I going to stay? Who can I crash with you? All they've got to learn new everything.
How do I get my stuff?
What bank am I going to use? I'm sure they're all online. I'm just saying all the little things that you have to deal with in life when you move, they're also dealing with. So if they don't light the world on fire today, I don't think it's the end of the world.
It's not.
There will be a point where it's like, all right, you got to produce now. You are you, and we did give up some significant stuff for you, but that moment's not here yet. If they do score, that's great. If they do something awesome, that's fantastic. They have that ability too. Like I said, they could say, forget the chemistry, watch what I do. But chemistry and their top level and playing off of everybody, it just takes time.
I think the key for both the new guys and the current guys still on the team, the guys that obviously weren't traded, is don't just defer. Mm-hmm. That's the big thing. Yep. Don't just defer. Like, hey, I'm going to try and get you involved, so I'm going to make this extra pass, even though you're really not open. When the right play is to shoot, just make the right play.
He loves getting it on that wing. Oh, I'm gonna get it for him, and it's like, well, you were unimpeded to the goal. What are you doing, buddy? Eyes forward. And I'm not saying anyone is going to be that obvious. That's obviously a dramatized version of it, but no, if you're there, get it. That'll be better for him in the future, right? Mm-hmm. The more threats you have, the less attention he'll draw.